And all of a sudden, Kylian Mbappé has already scored for the Los Blancos, which means that they lead 4-2 on aggregate. And like I've always been doing it here with my pundits, who will be helping me throughout the 90 minutes. We'll be talking quite a lot about the game tactics and then also what we should expect, tweaks and all that. Highline Kylian Mbappé, fastest to react, and Ruben Diaz all over the place. But it is Real Madrid 1 and then Manchester, and that's more like the goal Obama Bush scored against Newcastle over the weekend. But welcome, gentlemen. It's another Champions League night, and
this is how you score a goal. This is how a proper striker scores a goal. See, when please don't bring this your nonsense. No. No problem. Sorry. When the ball was kicked, right? You see, most of the times you don't see Kylian Mbappé running in between the defenders, but that was exactly what he did. You understand? Running between the two defenders, Dos Stones and Ruben Diaz. Fantastic opportunity, fantastic goal.
Your initial remarks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. An early goal. It will definitely go.
No matter who you are supporting, if the goal is built,
that's subjective, please.
That is why the man will say that.
Alright, Kind, a bit on that before we run through the starting 11.
Yes, the goal came too early. That will definitely go on to haunt Manchester City going forward. They should have. It was an avoidable goal. You see, two very experienced defenders allowing themselves for Kylian Mbappé to capitalize on his mistake.
It's more like an error from Ruben Diaz. He could have done better.
No, this is not an error, my brother. Look at the pass from asencio. Look at the pass. Tailored, measured.
You say that's an error basically because if your time is run very well, then perhaps Ruben Diaz will be dealing with that ball.
The level of difficulty in dealing with that ball.
No, but you should also acknowledge the fact that he could have that. He could have also done it better.
The level of difficulty in dealing with that ball is from the fact that it was tailored, it was measured just for Kylian Mbappé, and no other player on that pitch could have stopped that ball.
Ruben Diaz nearly did that, but let's quickly run through the lineups for both teams. Before we look at the tactical setup from both coaches. So with Real Madrid, they have Courtois in post. There's Valverde maintaining his place as a makeshift right back. Then Rudiger pairs with Raul Asencio in the heart of defense. Ferland Mendy playing as a left back. Now in midfield, with Tchouaméni, there's Ceballos, and then Jude Bellingham, and then in attack there's Rodrigo, Kylian Mbappé, and then Vinicius Junior. Already John Stones looks like his time on the pitch has come to an end already after he overstretched. That's a muzzle pulled over there, and John Stones would not be able to continue with his game. Quite a fleeting one, but how big of a blow would that be to Manchester City, Karen?
He didn't start in the first game. Probably he was managing purposely for this match. It's quite disappointing because a player of his caliber brings a lot to the table. He can play from defense to midfield. He didn't quite play well in their match. Have the minutes in their match against Newcastle United. So he was absolutely prepared very, very, very well for this task, and then it's heartbreaking that he wouldn't be able to continue at distance.
Alright, so that's it with Team Real Madrid, and you'd be expecting that they target this high line of Manchester City a couple of times. In the first leg, they did it inside the first 15-20 minutes, but unfortunately they couldn't score. And you can see the players always on the move, the likes of Vini Jr., Kylian Mbappé, and then also Rodrigo Gorges. Now to the City team, where they're also playing with Omar Mahmoud. So shockingly, there's no Erling Haaland. And first, let me take your initial thoughts on that quickly. No Erling Haaland, one of the most fearsome strikers we've seen in our game in the last 3-4 years, and Pep Guardiola decides to put him on the bench and go with Omar Mahmoud, who scored a hat-trick against Newcastle.
Josiah, in tactical orientation, right, we have had coaches who try to think too much. We have had coaches who try to twerk situations too much, and exactly what Pep Guardiola has done is going to be his downfall, because you need a presence up front. The problem that normally is associated with Erling Haaland when he's playing against a tougher opposition like Real Madrid is the fact that the midfielders are not able to bring the ball to him. So if the midfielders are not able to bring the ball to him, then he's forced to interplay. He's forced to drop deep, and you see, Haaland do not have the qualities to drop deep, take the ball and then run with it. So that is why most of the time you realize that he doesn't really function effectively. So what I expected to have been done, or what I expected Pep Guardiola to have done, was to instruct the midfielders to not hold the ball, not keep the ball too much, but try as much as possible to find Haaland in the pockets of spaces that are going to be created in between the defensive setup of Madrid. But for him to have benched him totally is, to me, a very, very big surprise. And I think that presence is not going to be felt in the attacking presence of Man City.
So quite a huge decision from Pep Guardiola to bench Erling Haaland. He's by far the best player this season. You talk about the fact that he's not really been, the Haaland we saw in his first season in England, but nevertheless, he's been a great player for them this season, scoring 17 times already in the Premier League this season. And 19 times actually in the Premier League this season, a couple more in the Uefa Champions League. But let's also take a look at the setup from Manchester City, the away side, that having forced into an early substitution after John Stones, got a knock over there. So there's Ederson in post, and then the back four is made up of Kuzenov, who is playing as a right back, and then Ake, who is in for John Stones. There's Ruben Diaz, and then there's Josko Vardiol in midfield. You have gündoğan being partnered by Nico Gonzalez. Then right behind Omar Marmoush, who's playing as a number 9. You have Bernardo Silva, you have Savino, and then you have Phil Foden. Gentlemen, Courage, you look at the setup from Manchester City. It's quite shocking that Erling Haaland is not part of the starting 11. But then, yes, we've seen Pep Guardiola overcomplicate things sometimes. It works for him, sometimes it doesn't. But what do you make of the setup from Manchester City?
This is a pure gamble. I think he's trying to hold back, not to be too much of attacking minded. But then, coming into this game, I was expecting him to be more of attacking than holding back. Because if you need goals, the go-to person, without a doubt, is Erling Haaland. When he's in there, you are short of at least a goal per game. So if you need goals to qualify, especially when you are down by 3 goals to 2 going to this game, then why should you keep the guy to give you the goals on the bench and then probably go with Omar Marmoush, who is yet to find his rhythm in the Champions League for Manchester City, and then also a certain Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva accompanying him in attack, who are yet to find their real rhythm as far as the Champions League is concerned. And then the decision to play John Stones instead of Nathan Ake, who has been consistent enough in the Champions League, was quite surprising, because we all know the medical condition of John Stones, and then coming into this game, he had no business starting the game at all. So it's just some bit of punishment for him, and then well-deserved punishment, because he should have done the simple thing, but he chose to go the complex way. So it's coming back to hit him actually.
Interesting take from Coach. But it's just 12 minutes and some seconds played in the second leg, and Real Madrid, they look very comfortable, very, very decent on the ball as well, not in a haste to attack, and still trying to just pick and then carve Manchester City wide open, but at least an incisive pass. But it's been an intriguing game, over the 2 legs, especially in the first leg where it was a 5-goal thriller, Real Madrid winning by 3-2. By this time, they would also initiate something over here with Vinicius Jr. at the left-hand side of the Madrid attack. He has Ferland Mendy, drifting a bit wider, trying to create space for him, and it's now Aurelien Tchouameni. But we look at the setup of Real Madrid, from the first leg, and what they had to do. They had to improvise. They played with only 2 natural defenders, in the first leg, and they still managed to win. That's why the fact that they conceded twice tells you how fragile the defense was. But what does the return of Rudiger, mean to this team in this particular game? So Madrid nearly doubling their lead. It was Vini Jr., and there he goes again, trying to get the fans up on their feet, trying to just get them supported, and Kuzenov could have a very long night here in the city of Madrid.
What does that? You see, Madrid for the past couple of seasons have not had a steady, or central defensive pair since David Alaba got injured, right? And the only option that they've practically had over the past couple of seasons is was the name Antonio Rudiger.
Yeah.
And when it comes to football, when it comes to ranking some of the best defenders over the past 3-4 seasons, Rudiger is up there with virtually anybody who is competing to be a central defender. But you see, sometimes you don't necessarily have to be a central defender to excel in that position, because we have had previous players do it. We've had kylian excel as a central defender, even though he's not a central defender. We've had other players do it. So it's all about the tactical training that you're going to be given, or that a coach is going to instill in you, right? And then your mentality, how able are you to integrate, how able are you to improvise? Because if you're a defensive midfielder, or no matter where you are playing, if there's a shortage or if there's a tactical threat and you've been given another position to play in, as a player you should be able to excel. Even if you're not able to give 100% of your ability, you should be closer to that. And that is exactly what the Real Madrid players have been able to do, because if you're playing for Real Madrid, you're playing for practically the biggest club in the world.
At least half the deficit over the two-legged aggregate. So it's 4-2 over Mamouche and the referee. There's a bit of scuffle over there, and then Nico Gonzalez there together with Raul Asencio, and the referee will halt play for now. Try to have a word with both of the players, and you can see, and it always gets intense between Manchester City and then Real Madrid. But you talk about it, the frequency with which we have this fixture in the UEFA Champions League, and it's becoming more like a common fixture in the UCL in recent times.
It's just like a decade or a decade and a half ago, where you knew that Chelsea was going to face Barcelona.
Exactly.
So it brings an added nuance to the game. It's just more of a classico.
That's even what Don Carlos said. He says this is the UEFA Champions League's version of the classic.
You understand? So it brings a different momentum, a different feeling to the game compared to when they are meeting sporadically. So I think that it is good, for the game. It is good for football. And you see, when some of the biggest clubs meet in the Champions League, it is not only for marketing sake, but it is for the footballing goals and the supporters and the fans who are watching, to be pleased, to be entertained.
All right. So 16 UEFA Champions League titles between the two, and guess what? It's 15-1. to Real Madrid, but nonetheless, these are two powerhouses in European football in the recent times, and still Manchester City chasing the game, and that's a lovely skill. But Real Madrid keeping it very simple, crowding certain areas of the midfield, not allowing Manchester City any space at all, and it looks very, very tactical. And you look at how these two teams have fared in recent times in the UEFA Champions League, and you'd be saying that tactically, every time these two teams meet, it looks like Carlo Ancelotti always has that edge over Pep Guardiola. Looking at how he sets up, knowing very well the weaknesses of his Madrid side, knowing that they can't dominate possession like some of the elite teams, in the world, but they play to their strength, knowing that the counter-attacking system is the best system they could ever deploy to beat a Pep Guardiola side.
And exactly what you have said. The only time that Real Madrid veered off from playing as a counter-attacking team, they were beaten 4-0. That was in the semis. In the semis when City went on to win the Champions League. So Carlo understands that he has weaknesses. How do you pepper over those weaknesses? How do you put a shelter over those weaknesses? You just have to keep it simple. You understand? In your tactical disposition, and then the idea and the philosophy. Keep it simple. If you can hold on to the ball, fine. If you can play as a counter-attacking team, fine. But you see, when you create chances against Man City, you would have to take them, because that is one of the undoings of a lot of clubs that have pitched against Man City. They create chances and you don't take them. Man City starts to take control of the game, and then they start creating chances and then score.
Right. So Real Madrid also trying to make another incursion, could be dangerous, and it's Kylian Mbappe tries to strike with the left foot from outside the box of Manchester City, but I think the defenders are up to the task at this point. But earlier on, a bit of a scuffle between Nico Gonzalez and then Kylian, Jude Bellingham killing Mbappe with a strike. And should we expect more goals, Courage? Looking at what we are seeing now, it's been more of an end-to-end staff. Real Madrid playing to their own rhythm, not looking at what City are doing. They keep the ball when they have to. They, just move into their shape without the ball, and they keep it very, very simple even with it.
It's similar to what we witnessed a week ago. Same football style. Real Madrid allowing Manchester City to keep hold of the ball, do whatever they want to do with the ball, and then when it's their turn to possess the ball, they actually attack and then become the most dangerous amongst them. You see, so it's basically one person trying to enjoy the game and another person trying to do the necessary.
Contrasted setup, right?
Yes. So as we can, as far as I can count, Kylian Mbappe alone has had close to 4 shots.
That was nearly a second, but Fred Valverde, you could see the routine over there. This looks like it was practiced, at the training grounds. Just look at Valverde,
so
just at the edge of the Manchester City box.
Yes, took a deflection of
corner was taken very short to him, and he nearly punished Manchester City for another corner for Real Madrid.
Shot on target.
Yeah,
I don't know if you see any. But Real Madrid.
So 21 minutes into the game, City yet to have a shot on target. Rodrigo with a ball right at the edge of the City penalty box. Mamouche just couldn't get that one out. It could have been a promising counter-attacking play from Manchester City, but unfortunately, Real Madrid are able to regain possession again with Ferland Mendy Valverde at the heart of defense. What a pass! Crossfield, Crossfield, Clarence going back from Kuzanov. What a night he's having. Looks like an unforgettable 20 minutes for him already in this game, and that's how Madrid can make you feel. Sometimes they can make you feel as if you're not even good enough to play the game of football. And Manchester City escape the scare once again. But without the ball, we look at the shape of Madrid. 4-4-2 flat.
Yes.
Then you have Vini Jr. and then Kylian Mbappe, similar to what we saw in the first leg, do the press. City have the tendency to beat that press a couple of times, but you don't see even Carlo Ancelotti try to change the setup without the ball.
Josiah, you can keep a tactical formation against City for 90 minutes without them, beating the press. Are you get to the point? I mean, City is so good. City is so good in the beating press that any team that they face, they are still going to break the press. But the question is that after breaking the press, what do they do with the ball? That's the question. And but you see, let's go back a moment ago when was the Valverde gave that crossfield pass. These are passes that you see that are synonymous with Paul Scholes, Paul Pogba, Tony Kroos, and this them. You see, these are the skill sets that make football beautiful. You understand? I mean, 40 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards passes. You see, it goes straight to the intended baller, and these are some of the things that we want to see in the game. These are some of the things that make football beautiful. The last 10 minutes we've seen Real Madrid totally dominate Manchester City. So you'd be thinking that City would want to enjoy possession, Real Madrid would want to hit them on the break, but I think the status quo has changed a bit in the last 10 minutes. It's Real Madrid rather doing most of the passing and then asking questions of the City defense, which they've been apt to, but it is still game on over here. Real Madrid leading Manchester City by 1-0 in the second leg of the playoff round of the UEFA Champions League. The Los Blancos lead 4-2 on aggregate. We could have some game on our hands like we did in the first leg. Jude Bellingham nearly losing that ball, but stays resolute, wins aside, throwing, and then you have Don Carlo. But other games are also ongoing, and then you visit the Parc des Princes, where it is Paris Saint-Germain playing against Brest, and it's quite unfortunate for Brest. They've been very what did you say?
Brest, they've been very soft.
Brest, not Brest.
It depends, my intonation, sir.
No, Brest.
No, I'm from the northern part of Africa.
You are not French, it's Brest.
I said it's Brest.
Brest. Brest.
Guys, how do you mention that?
I haven't traveled anywhere before.
How do you want to mention that?
Mention it the way you mention it.
Brest.
So it's Brest.
They're trying to polish it.
So I think PSG are really, just not making Brest feel comfortable. They are really disgracing Brest. They are really
not disgracing Brest. They are exposing the Brest.
You see, for some time now, anytime Brest faces PSG, Brest loses. I don't know.
It's becoming so sorry for Brest. Looking at how fallen they've been. They've not really been as formidable and fair as they are supposed to be. And Kylian Mbappe can. That was a deflection. Appeals for a handball. But referee waves all the appeals, and it's still Real Madrid just toying with Manchester City. That was an awful pass, Mamouche, with no support.
Manchester
also ever Mamouche, and he's also having a toy time with the defense of Manchester City. And Pep Guardiola, you can see that man, with so much pressure on himself. But Don Carlo, always as cool as you could count. You visit 20 years back during his time with AC Milan, and it's still the same demeanor on the touchline. Nothing has changed for Carlo Ancelotti.
You see, we have different coaching orientations. Okay, Don Carlo is one unique character that I barely see in the game currently. You understand? Don Carlo is more like Arsene Wenger, right? They are the exact opposite of Diego Simeone.
Jose Mourinho, Conte,
you understand?
Yes, you're looking coaches on the touchline.
Jurgen Klopp, two directly opposite characters. Like you see, yes,
just aura.
You understand? But it has worked for Don Carlo.
Yeah,
I don't know how he communicates with.
It's very calm, like very calm.
You see, to an extent, some people do say that sometimes he's too calm. You understand, especially when things are not.
But he's a tough guy. He has a tough skin.
No, he has it, because you cannot coach Real Madrid if you don't have a tough skin. Especially if things are not going on well. And this is the second time that he's coaching Real Madrid. So we can attest to the fact that for you to be in the hot seat for Real Madrid for 2 terms shows that you've got a tough skin. But you see, he's created a niche for himself to be calm, and it has worked for him over the past 30 years as a gaffer. So why?
A couple of seasons ago, he was in the Premier League with
Everton. Yeah, there's a guy who downgraded all the way to Everton. The status of Everton. Yes. He elevates again to the That's how mysterious football can be sometimes, and the path of players and then also coaches.
Do you know how he got a Madrid job? He when he was at Everton, he had gone to Madrid, right, to go loan a player. So he had spoken to Florentino Perez that he wanted a player from Madrid to come to Everton on loan, and Florentino was like, you cry, you're at Everton. I'm sacking my coach. Will you be available? They say yes, I'm available. Of course, everybody that will say I'm available. You see, someone might say that because he had downgraded to Everton, he could not at that particular move directly to Real Madrid. So it is not where you are, but what you have been able to create for yourself.
Of course.
So as I speak with you right now, it is possible that Mourinho can move from Fenerbahce straight to a Madrid, or a Barcelona, or a mancity.
Based on his legacy and achievement,
based on what he's been able to achieve. These are some of the things that we see.
As we speak, he's even being linked to Chelsea coming back. Chelsea's come back.
Wow, that would be
in crisis.
Historic.
Found a way to chip down.
Alright, so in other results, PSG they are beating Brest. They are really making a whole mess out of Brest as we speak, and Brest look a bit soft and falling because they are losing 1-0.
Milking the Brest.
They are really milking the Brest. I like that word. And another ball over the top. Kylian Mbappe can double Madrid's lead. He does, but straight at either said, and the rebound for to Rodrigo who finds Chouameni, and it's Real Madrid. It looks like they are going guns blazing, and they are not relenting at all. It's been fifth gear from the start, and they are keeping and applying that same pressure on Manchester City. And you look at Manchester City, and there's something really has changed with this man. I don't know how where you would want to take it from, if it's from a spiritual aspect or a physical or psychological, but this is not the City we used to know. This City is the worst City side one could ever have seen under Pep Guardiola.
Josiah, I always say this is the worst City side, but you see, sometimes if the opposition is better than you, they are just better than you. You understand? And you see, they cannot, or they are not able to deal with the runs of Kylian Mbappe. He's running from deep. He's running through the middle. He's running through the flanks. I get the point. So who is going to mark Kylian Mbappe? And mind you, there's no player on the pitch who can match the pace of Kylian Mbappe. So if he's running from deep in between the spaces being created by the central defenders of Man City, it's going to be difficult. So I would think that Man City should not play the high line. They should have dropped a bit deeper. When you drop a bit deeper, what is going to happen is that you will invite more pressure on your team, but it will negate the presence of Kylian Mbappe.
No,
right? Yes, but another thing that it is also glaringly clear in this match is that Man City is not able to press, because Man City is known for pressing, winning the ball up front, but realize that they are backing off from the Real Madrid players when they are starting the ball. So it tells you that what Man City has taken a totally different approach from this game, or in this game, per what we have said, especially what they did to Newcastle, the way they were pressing Newcastle. So they have acknowledged that this is a better team. This is a team with much more quality than Newcastle United.
And Pep Guardiola will continue with his protest because he feels that should have been a foul on Phil Foden just colliding. That was a bit vicious, but no, I would say no malice in that one. That was a cynical challenge. But there again, just look at the space they are able to create with that inch, perfect pass, and Kylian Mbappe nearly doubling the lead for Real Madrid. But Chouameni, that's Pogba-esque.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. They have something in common. They have on the France national team.
Okay, yeah, I think that's.
But I didn't realize that Chouameni hasn't really progressed per what we all expected.
Yes. Defensively, you could argue that he's been solid as far as shielding the back.
No, but he's not a defensive-minded player. You understand? I mean,
the Madrid system has actually called him, into one.
I get a point. But you see, if you metamorphosize into something else, we should see glimpses of what, because Chouameni was one of the best
attacking box to box.
You understand? So I really see.
I think the game plan has been, since coming to Madrid, he's been forced to play as a makeshift centre back sometimes. So yes, taking away some parts of his attacking threat and then also instinct. But game still continues. 31 minutes played at the Santiago Bernabeu, and it's the front three of Real Madrid: Rodrigo, Vini, and Mbappe, causing all sorts of problems for the Manchester City team, and they've not really been so good. If you've been brutally frank, Mamouche has been, a mere spectator. We've not seen the best out of the midfield partnership, Gonzalez, and then also that's gündoğan. And you would almost always say that any team that City faces, they would end up dominating in midfield, because City would always fill players with tired legs, and gündoğan is not the gündoğan we used to know a couple of seasons ago, Courage.
It's Pep Guardiola's own decision to keep his best players on the bench, and then decide to go with information that no one understands except him, because you don't keep a certain Kevin De Bruyne on the bench and then play Gonzalez.
Mbappe.
I don't think Gonzalez was criticizing him, so why hit him?
No, I am not saying you. No, you see, I actually he was part of them.
You were part.
I wasn't part.
You were not part.
No.
Okay.
I started on this platform. I defended him because I knew him.
Alright, but what about that for a pass from Jude Bellingham? Like, come on, we've spoken about the technical ability of this guy. People think he's not good enough, but this is world class. Courage.
Come on.
Like, it's not world class if you are not playing for
Come on.
This is the pinnacle of football.
You see the composure.
This is the pinnacle. This is the pinnacle.
Back to Croatia.
Yes. This is the pinnacle.
Had no chance.
Real Madrid.
Was that Vadiol being taken back?
This goal was well cooked from Rodrigo.
And 6 in 10. It's quite okay. 6 in 10. And that could be his 25th competition.
Let's talk about Real Madrid.
Look at that great score.
The biggest institution when it comes to football.
Okay.
Do you understand? And you see, is there a player?
Why is it must be now?
Is there a player that would not want to play for Real Madrid?
There are a couple of players who do not want to play for Real Madrid. Lionel Messi.
Oh, if Madrid had gone to buy he would have come.
Interested. Mbappe still in the show.
It's the Mbappe show.
Yeah, it's the Mbappe.
The last time I saw him perform like this was in the World Cup final.
Of course.
Against Argentina.
Against
France against Argentina.
That's one of the best individual football matches I've watched.
Wow, when Madrid would dispossess City again. Trouble again. But unfortunately, the ball falls kindly to Vardy, and City will break free again, and the game getting a bit end to end over there. But Manchester City, they've not really been able to string passes together, even progressing the ball into the third half of attack, and they've made it quite easy, and very, very comfortable for Real Madrid. But then they push again through. Savino lays the ball onto the path of Mamouche. The number 7 gets into the most. What a tackle from Raul Asencio. This guy is a warrior in the heart of defense for Real Madrid. And
when I see Asencio, do you know whom I see? I see John Terry.
Wow, John Terry.
Yes, because you know the reason why the way he was promoted from the academy. And you see,
Madrid do that.
Very few Madrid do that.
Certain few players, but then one of them centre back.
Very few Madrid do that.
It was just a circumstance.
Yes. Yes, so we should per our projections we should be seeing this guy actually cement a spot in the back. This guy is going to one day become the captain of Real Madrid.
You see one thing with Carlo Ancelotti, he doesn't betray his loyalty. He's a very loyal man. Yes, if what's his name, Etao is back, Asencio will be relegated to the bench. That's one thing I can say.
When you say he will be relegated to the bench, I disagree. They are going to share the time. I get to the point. But what this guy has been able to do,
there as well.
I am not saying that he's going to be relegated to the bench. What I'm trying to say is that, you see, Madrid plays about 60-65 matches a season. I get to the point.
That's even in
you see, you will have to understand. This is a 19-year-old boy, isn't it? You are not going to give
him goes with a template.
No, see, you are not getting the point. Everybody has seen, right, how good
the quality of this player.
The quality of this player. I get to the point. You see, the moment you shunt their growth, they want to leave.
Of course.
But he's not here to develop a player. He's here to win. That's what.
You know, it's a potential prospect to win. No, but he goes to the prospects, and he has shown that when given the opportunity, when given the time, he's going to perform. And he's performing to the highest of standards.
So interested, Raul Asencio, yes, the name of two good players, two Madrid players, legend Raul, and then a young legend from the academy, Asencio as well, who played so well during his time with Real Madrid, currently on loan at Aston Villa, but could be dangerous for Bellingham. This guy has actually drawn a lot of criticism towards himself after that game away at Osasuna with that too much ban. He's been banned for 2 games. Real Madrid are saying that they might be protesting that red card, but there again, that was a bit more nasty, and Bellingham.
Two English players.
No, but you see, that's a normal. That's a normal tackling. That's a normal tackling.
You look at it,
you look at it's not fair.
Come on.
You see, my problem is with
the contact with the ball, but
my problem is with poor contact.
But he made contact.
No, you see, he made contact. I'm not denying that aspect. You see, but when players start getting yellow card, it brings some sluggishness into the gross. He's going to be scared to go into challenges again. And challenges are what make football great. I am not saying that the referee should have overlooked it, but I mean that's a normal challenge. This is for tennis.
Jeez. But are we seeing a replica of what we saw a week ago, or this hasn't lived up to the bill? It's been too one-sided. Looking at what we witnessed last week, just some few days ago, the tempo, the intensity of this game, end-to-end stuff, City scoring twice, and then Madrid trying to respond. We've not seen the same level of football we saw a week ago, right?
Yes, last week was Real Madrid sitting back and then trying to hit on counter-attack. But this is this particular game, since they've really come to the task, they are not just sitting back and relying on counter-attack, but they're also playing. You see, they are keeping possession, and then per what I'm seeing, they are even playing better than Manchester City. And so if there should be a statistic card right now, Real Madrid should be on top. But then in the first leg, there was no occasion where Real Madrid outplayed Manchester City in terms of possession. So yes, this is a total demolition, a total how do we call it, dominance. Real Madrid is dominating the game from end to end, and then I'm still yet to see a Manchester City shot on target. Wow, I don't know if anyone has seen some.
Could that also be attributed to the all availability.
You have the best passer of the ball on the bench in the person of Kevin De Bruyne.
But not fitness. Are they fit enough to play?
If he's not fit enough, why do you travel with him all the way from England, Manchester to Real Madrid? You see, so the fact that he's sitting on the bench means he's available.
All right, so Kylian Mbappe's double separating two sides. Currently 40 minutes played in the second leg of the playoff round. It is the UEFA Champions League watch along on the Our Media channel. You always have to subscribe to the channel, yes, and then turn on the notification button, because this is the only channel that brings you up to speed on all the big games in the UEFA Champions League. So it is the watch along. We just run you through what's happening in the game. We keep you updated, the goal scorers, and then also in-depth, incisive, and then informative analysis from my pundits. Some pulling over there. Kylian Mbappe, more like flash here. You can see the Real, but Manchester City defense struggling to deal with the pace of the French.
That was a bookable offense from Nico Gonzalez, but the referee wasn't interested. I think it happened at the wrong side of his sight. Should be a yellow card. You don't hold a player like that. That's not tag of war.
That ain't tag of war, but Real Madrid, they really felt comfortable passing the ball,
yes,
with this unusual of them, but Fede Valverde, these are warriors, and these are Carlo Ancelotti's warriors. They're yet to put a foot wrong so far in this game. They've been resolute. They've been, great on the ball, and without the ball, they worked so hard and tirelessly. Valverde will try, and search forward. His intended pass to Kylian Mbappe wouldn't fall to the Frenchman. Now Nathan Ake regains possession for Manchester City. Gündoğan will move to his double pivot partner Nico Gonzalez, back to Gündoğan. Gündoğan scanning around, picks up his teammate, that's Josko Vardiol, and gradually we've seen Manchester City trying to make progress. They are yet to hit a shot on target, so Thibaut Courtois has been on a virtual holiday throughout the first half of this game.
Courtois being comfortable in distributing passes. Wow.
Right, so Manchester City enjoying a brief spell of possession, something we've not really seen them do since the first opening 10 minutes of the game, but they're still trying to find open spaces, man, and that's an unfortunate slip ball will fall to Jude Bellingham now, and Real Madrid would love to break away, but that run from Vini Jr. wasn't spotted by Jude Bellingham. It would have been a bit more dangerous for Manchester City. Tchouaméni to Jude Bellingham, back to Real and Tchouaméni, and City are lacking. They are beginning to feel it, and it's quite evident that they do not have the energy to press again, and they're making it quite so comfortable and easy for the Madrid defense line. And just look at that, it's getting so easy for Madrid, trying to move the ball around, no sort of pressure on the Madrid defense. It's Ake now.
Ake holding the ball, standing at one position for close to 15 seconds.
No, he has to.
Please. Instruction.
No, not instruction. It has to, because they are not organized there. You understand? You see, sometimes when you have the ball in certain positions, you will have to wait for your players to be in position before.
There were 4 players up front.
The players were closest to him. They are closer to him. I get to the point. So he needed to wait for them to move into spaces where he could channel the ball. You see, when you are recycling the ball in your own half, it doesn't bring any results. So what do? You move into higher, you move further forward, so that if you are distributing the ball, it should be closest to your opponent's goal post, and that is what Man City is not currently doing. And you say, I don't blame them that much, because they do not. You see, do you know that Madrid has the legs? Yes, Madrid is playing with that average age of about 24-25.
Yeah,
and they can run. And you see, when you look at what happened last week, they covered much more of the grass than City. And that's the same thing that is happening today. You see, Man City is not pressing. That is one thing. But when you have built a brand and you are taking away from that brand, you are doing something differently, it most likely does not go well. And the brand of Man City is to press and press and press, and then choke choke the opposition. That is what they've not been able to do. And the 45 minutes that I have watched today is reminiscent of when Madrid was beaten 4-0 on the way to winning the Champions League final. You see, it was so, the Man City was so dominant in that game that Madrid felt like they never played football, and that's exactly what is happening right now. The only thing left for Real Madrid to do is to gloss over the results, add 2 or 3 to it, and then the problem will become bigger.
Right. So Manchester City with a chance to just pull it back by that free kick directly targeting Josko Vardy and then Nathan Ake, 2 of the Manchester City defenders, but the flag goes up for an offside and play will resume with Thibaut Courtois, the Real Madrid goalkeeper, kicking in that long indirect free kick. But 2 minutes of time was displayed on the substitution board, but we've already done about 55, just to a minute of it. 1 more minute to play in the first half. And you wonder what a pep talk from Pep Guardiola would be like. What would he be looking at changing in the second half? We've not really seen anything. And we won't be surprised if he throws on Erling Haaland and then also Kevin De Bruyne.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Because Savino has been poor, Foden has been poor. Gündoğan has been poor because there's no control from Man City. So what are you going to do? You take either Savino off or you take Gündoğan off. Then you bring Mamouche back to either 8 or 10, right? You bring Haaland in, then you have 2 passes with the ball in Mamouche and then Kevin De Bruyne. Then you could have an outlet in Erling Haaland. But for now, you see, even if he does those changes and they are not able to have a control of the game, it's going to be difficult for Erling Haaland to be served. And if you have Erling Haaland up front and you are not serving him, if the channels are blocked like what we see right now, it's still going to be difficult. But let's wait and see what's going to happen in the second half.
Right. So Kylian's goals, and I believe the whistle for the end of the first half has gone. Real Madrid still in the lead, and they also lead an aggregate after beating City 3-2 at Etihad last week. They continue right where they left off in this particular one, but this time it's the Kylian Mbappé show, scoring twice for Real Madrid, and it looks like their dream to win a record-extending 16th UEFA Champions League title is still on course after nearly or almost triumphing in what has been dubbed the finale before the grand finale. It's been exciting, Courage.
History has is that any time a winner emerges between Manchester City and Real Madrid, that team goes on to lift the ultimate trophy. So I agree with you. It's the winner before the how did you say?
The final before the final.
The final before the final. Yes, I agree totally. Whoever wins this fixture, I don't see any team from other groups going toe to toe with either Real Madrid or Manchester City. Any team that wins, and as it stands now, Real Madrid are in comfortable lead. They are controlled. They are winning 5-2 on aggregate. I don't see Man City coming back.
Game over.
It's game over even before halftime.
Game over.
Prior to the start of the game, I did indicate that this is a game that Real Madrid is going to win. And I'm being proven right. My only concern right now is how many goals are they going to score. You understand? But for you to say that this is the finals before the finals, I totally disagree, because the most informed club currently in the Champions League is Liverpool. And if you look at what PSG is also doing, I think that we've got teams that can stop either Man City.
Yeah, it's justifiable to say it's the final before the final, because these are the winners, the 2 winners of the last 3 years.
I do agree from that angle, but you see, Man City is not the Man City that we know this season.
But it's still Manchester City nonetheless.
No. Per what we see this season from Man City, there's no way that I'm going to.
But they're still Manchester City.
You're not getting the point. You can have the name, but if you're not doing what the name presupposes, then excuse my language, is bullshit. You understand? Because at the end of the day, this is a club that is known to win. This is a club that is known to play good football. But this season they've been so shambolic, they've been so poor. You cannot tell me that the team that is going to win from this match is going to be the one to lift the trophy, or is going to go all the way to.
Like if Madrid should win, they can go ahead. They are not tossing top three.
I am saying that we've got teams that are equally good. We've got teams that are created some level of momentum, with like PSG, like